Let's talk arson for a minute. Apparently, although I have no memory of this, I ignited my first significant fire when I was 4 years old and burned down the shed at my parents' house. So I was an arsonist at the age of 4, apparently, although I was not arrested at the time. I'm not sure anything of significance came of it. Okay, let's talk about arson in Australia, which is on a lot of people's minds. Apparently, there has been an occasional fire started by an arsonist, but most of the fires that are human-caused in Australia are caused by accident. So, people are inadvertently lighting fires. That does not make them arsonists. In addition, and probably more important than that, a huge proportion of the fires there, in terms of area burned, are caused by lightning, not by humans. So, we have human-caused fires, we have human-caused fires on purpose, and then we have lightning fires. And in fact, when fires become big enough, they generate their own clouds, these high clouds that go way up into the atmosphere and create lightning, and it's the lightning that lights the fires. It's another self-reinforcing feedback loop that results in more acres burned. So, significant issues here. Are there arson fires? Yes. Do they comprise a significant number of the fires? No. Are human-caused fires happening in Australia? Yes, absolutely. I suspect most of them, I suspect a vast majority of them, are accidental fires, not fires caused by arsonists and therefore on purpose. And the bigger issue is this lightning as a source of fires. And finally, more important than all of this, is the notion of pre-existing conditions. You can't light a green soccer field on fire. I don't care how many arsonists you have out there lighting matches and throwing them on the ground. You are not going to light an area that is green. So this gets into the idea of pre-existing conditions. Abrupt, irreversible climate change has undoubtedly contributed to pre-existing conditions, meaning an abundance of very dry fuel that allows those fires to occur. Those bushfires in Australia are almost all a result of, at least in part, climate change. As it gets warmer and drier over time, the fuel becomes much drier, and that fuel is therefore predisposed to ignition. How does that ignition come? Fires by arsonists caused on purpose, fires accidentally caused by humans, and probably most importantly, fires caused by lightning as a result of, again, atmospheric conditions. So there's a lot going on here. I'm just trying to unpack little pieces of it to help illustrate that it's not all arsonists that are causing the fires in Australia. I spent many years either fighting wildfires or lighting prescribed fires. A subtle difference there. So I know quite a bit about human-induced fires and how humans put out fires. I know quite a lot about fire behavior. In fact, there's a chart that we all use, that we all learned as firefighters. And the chart is called the Fire Characteristics Chart, originally created by the United States Department of Agriculture's Forest Service. And it describes on the horizontal axis the heat per unit area, how hot the fire is, and on the vertical axis, the rate of spread of the fire. And as you move from the lower left, where the fire is not burning very intently, so here's what we're showing here. Fire is not burning very fast or very intensely down here. As the fire intensity or rate of spread grows, you add more people. And then eventually you add more equipment. And then eventually it becomes hopeless and you can't put out the fire. And so we refer to this chart as the hauling chart. The hauling chart. In the initial case, you would haul more people. In the second case, you would haul more equipment. And finally, you would haul ass. You would get out of there. So the hauling chart is an important part of describing what's going on with these fires, because it describes the intensity of fire and the rate of spread. And the fire intensity and rate of spread in these bushfires in Australia is extreme. For the most part, firefighters are not going to be able to put out those fires. They're going to have to haul out of there and depend upon the weather to put out the fires. Just as the weather, as transformed by the climate, as produced by the climate, has created the pre-existing conditions that cause those fires to start in the first place. At the edge of extinction, only love remains. Well, and a little bit of Rupert Murdoch media-inspired lies, too.